curtain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life, there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Well, let's get into it. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm your LaVern, and this is One Street Over, an opportunity for us to see what's happening one street over from where we're living. Hope you're living well and doing well this morning as we head out into it. It's a little cold this morning. Oh my goodness. As they say, frost on the pumpkins. We don't have any pumpkins, but you got some frost out there. And as we're, it's so weird because we had the snowmageddon that happened, and then things just kind of, thawed out very quickly. And then we're still having to deal with the cold temperatures at night. But I think we're up into the 50s today. Might even get a little bit of peak of sunshine. So just hang on, though, guys. As I have told my kiddos, and I've told y'all many times, I have a feeling we got some more stuff coming. We typically, February can be one of the roughest months we have, but I think we're in one of our severe winter patterns right now based upon the things my father taught me on the farm when I was a kid. And so we'll see. Of course, the cold and the rain have to hit at just the right time for us to get the snow and stuff. But we've got Debbie Liner is going to be headed in here. Hopefully she'll be in here in just a moment. But she is with the Stokes Brown Public Library. And she is with technology there. And there's a lot of stuff. Our library, she is the technology trainer at Stokes Brown. And we just don't tap in enough to the things we have at the library. And Lee Marie has been just wonderful at keeping us plugged in. Come on in here, Deb. And Lee Marie has been wonderful at keeping us plugged into things going on at the library. Come on in here and have a seat. Pull that microphone right to you as you get settled in. So I think we, she was telling me about Spanish classes that we have going on at the library and different things that I would love to tap into. Libby, which is the the answer to Audible. I pay for Audible so I can listen to books audibly. But there's a free version, and I tried to. It's so funny, Debbie. I was trying to sign up. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
You got to get on that microphone, sweetheart. You got to lean into it. Yeah. So,
right.
But have you been here before? I think I've had you in. No, I have not. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. And I think we've got you for the hour this morning.
I think so.
So there we go. So and you just look lovely. I love the blue. And,
thank you.
And we're just here to talk about all the programs of the library. And so let's just right out of the gate talk about Libby, because my daughter-in-law is actually a librarian. Mm-hmm. And she works at a school up in Jackson. And so, the one that she's married to, my son Caleb, they're avid readers. And so they have mentioned to me several times, y'all don't use Libby, And I have the app on my phone, but I've never fully registered it because I've got to have my library card and my number to do it. Correct?
Right.
So do you use Libby?
I do.
Oh my goodness. So explain, good morning, y'all. Again, this is One Street Over, 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah LaVern. This is Debbie Liner. Is it Liner?
Right.
Okay. Debbie Liner, and she is the technology trainer. Do I have that correct?
Correct.
How long have you been at the library?
A total of almost 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you educationally a librarian, or is that what you have in your?
No, I'm a certified teacher, K through
Oh,
8.
well, I'm a teacher now too, and it's fun. I'm teaching up at Greenbrier and I absolutely love it. So
I love it.
yeah. So you teach as well as do the library stuff?
No, not
So
anymore.
you're just
I'm
for the library.
retired.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I retired into teaching. And I just love it. It's just so much fun. But so my daughter-in-law, she was technology librarian at Freed Hardeman when she first came out of college.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how she and my son met, is they were in that same area. They're in Jackson now, and she's working as the librarian at a school. So I get I'm just inundated with all this. And she's a fabulous librarian. She's just wonderful. But so I'm really, I didn't realize the science behind being a librarian. I didn't know it was a degree. I had no idea.
Yes.
But it's like, if you want to be a librarian, you've got to go to school to be a librarian now. I mean, you got to have that degree and sometimes a master's, right?
Right.
Because it's so much. There's so much to it. So I started with Libby, but let's just kind of unpack it, because you just can't believe the free sources at our library that you're not tapping into if you're not in the library. And I'm talking to myself. I get in there as often as I can, but oh my gosh, I love it. I love the library. So Libby, explain Libby to us. What is that all about?
Libby is an app that you can put on your phone. One of the things that I like to do, because I travel a lot, my children live on the other side of Knoxville, and I have to drive that distance by myself. So I will plug my Libby in to my phone on the car and turn it on to a book that I'm listening to, and I can listen to my book the whole way over there.
Wonderful.
A 4-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get finished with it, but it's,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps me occupied instead of having to just listen to music that I don't like anymore on the radios.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to my books.
Yeah. And I mean, and that it's just an option. I listen to something. I have something in my ear most of the time. And I'm one of these people, I do love solitude and silence, but my ears ring now. So I'm better off if I've got something going. And so I'll have a book, a podcast, something going most of the time. And those things get expensive. I have an Audible account, and it's like $15 a month, and I mean, it's super, super expensive. And, I guess I turn it on from time to time. If I've got 2 or 3 books that are study books, that are theology type books that are a little bit harder for me to turn the page and read because I get glassy eyed when I do that, but I can audibly listen to them. So I'll turn Audible on for very specific books, and then I'll get those books, read or listened to and kind of get my notes made up, and I'll turn it off. And so I'll do that, because you have to check out books with Libby. So you have to get on a waiting list to get them, right?
If someone else already has it.
Okay.
Most of the time, if you're on a waiting list, it'll say you're 2 weeks out.
Okay.
But they usually come in just about the time that somebody turns them in, and they turn them in. When you get finished with a book on Libby, then you'll go to the bottom of the page, the last page, and it'll say return it. So you don't have to do anything except go to the bottom of the last page, click it, return it, and it's usually returned early.
Okay. Because I've got to get in there and re-up my account, because we were just visiting with the kids, like a week or so ago, and we were talking about our Audible account and how expensive it is. And and both my son and my daughter-in-law were like, why are you not using Libby? I'm like, I know, you've told me about it. And what I ended up doing is I signed up for it on my app, but then I don't have my library card because I go in and y'all just pull me up. So I don't know my number. So how can do I have to physically come in to get my library number, or is there a way I can do it digitally?
You cannot do it digitally.
I'm going to have to come in and do that.
Because you have to have a picture ID and something that will give us the correct mailing address or correct physical address.
Okay.
If you have a P.O. box, that won't do it.
Okay, so that's the thing. They're protecting your privacy, and so they want to make sure that you're who you say you are, and that they get you in there and hook you up with the right account. So, we all need to do this. If you're somebody that loves to read, that likes to listen to books, I mean, Libby is it's free. It's free.
It's free.
You can always find something. I was looking at, I really want to. I've never read the works of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and I really want to listen to that. And I was looking at that, and then I was trying to reserve that. Then I was like, I don't have my library number, so you will see me sometime in the next couple of weeks because I really want to get my Libby account activated, and my husband too, because we just when we're working around the house and stuff, I just like having something in my ear that I'm learning something or getting some kind of knowledge. And I'm not just I hate to waste time. I'm one of these, I just can't stand to waste time.
I'm with you.
And so, you can be learning and doing those kinds of things all the time. So now as far as the things that you've got a full calendar, let me show this calendar to the folks that are actually looking at us. This is something Lee Marie has shared with me many times. They've got these for every month. Every month is just jam-packed full of stuff. And I mean, you can't really read it from the way I'm showing it, but oh my goodness, there's so much stuff going on. And I just love it. And I mean, so where should we start? Where should we start? What do you want to start with? How about the Spanish classes? Let's start with the Spanish classes since we have, since we're owned by Ebenezer Broadcasting, and that is, we have a Spanish sister station right across the hall here. Let's start with the fact that we all need to be bilingual, and we're not. And I'm pitiful. I have a lot of friends from other countries, and they all mock me because all I can speak is English. And Spanish is. I've got so many Spanish speaking kiddos. I go to Mexico every year, for mission work, and so got a lot of Arabic speaking friends. I would love to learn another language, but it seems I'm 61 years old. Am I too old?
No. Absolutely.
I knew the answer. So, are you bilingual?
I have taken the Spanish classes.
Uh-huh.
And I have had Spanish children in my class.
Okay.
And we do have Spanish speaking children come to the library.
Sure.
People come. We are now trying to find a bilingual interpreter who can take our calendars and all of our printed materials and translate them into Spanish so that we can hand them out that way.
Okay.
Our calendars that she just showed you on the screen are on one side Spanish and one side English.
Oh, okay.
So they are bilingual. We also have a few children's books, a few young adult books, and a few adult books that are Spanish books. We also have some DVDs that are Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Our Spanish class is sponsored by, and don't quote me on this, but it used to be sponsored, and I think it still is, by the Baptist Ministries of Springfield.
Okay.
And they provide teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They provide everything. You pay a one-time fee at the beginning of the course, and it's a semester course.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you the books. You buy the books. And then they have listening devices. They have different levels. You can be either level 1, 2, or 3.
Well, and didn't you have a test recently so you could come in and kind of test and see where you needed to plug in to kind of to make sure you were, if you are beyond level 1, then let's move on up. Just Lee Marie, I had no idea that she spoke Spanish and, pretty fluently. And so these, there's a lot of people out there with that hidden talent, and you can test and see where you need to be placed in the class. I would be at the beginning, even though I've got a lot of exposure, it just doesn't stick. But it is something that to being able to, when I know a little bit, and so if I can say something in Spanish to my students when I'm in class, they light up. They're like, you took the time to learn. Because I had a sweet kid yesterday, because we do audio and video production, and so I put them in front of a camera and have them read some copy, like they were doing the news. Bless his heart, he's been here a few years. English is his second language. He did good. I was impressed. I thought, man, if I got it for you in Spanish, you would just rock this thing. And but I told him, I bragged on him. I said, bless your heart. I said, that's your second language. You did excellent. And so it's just, and when we can encourage them with language and learning some of their just some everyday phrasing and things like that, and it makes such a difference. So
Last year when I taught over at Crestview last year. I taught fifth grade, and there was a young lady in my class that came in late, and she came straight in, spoke no English
oh
whatsoever.
wow,
And so through the whole year, she picked up things here and there. She came into the library just last week, and she saw me, and she said, "Oh, Miss Liner." And I called her by name. I won't say her name on the radio,
yeah.
but I called her by name, and I said, "How is your English doing?" She said, "Very good."
Oh
And
yay,
she could speak to me back, respond, and it was. I really liked that. That was really cool.
wonderful. Well, and I love telling the story. Whenever I was when I first started going into ministry, one of the first things that I got involved with was in Nashville in the Egyptian community, helping newcomers from Egypt that were Arabic speakers learn English. And so I did a lot of English language learning. And so I had this one family I was working with, just no English at all. They were brand new, and they had this little precious little bitty girl. I mean, like first grade, and no English. And I worked with them a little bit, and mom and dad just weren't getting it, and kind of lost track of them. About a year later, maybe not even that long, I encountered them again, and we started talking. And the little girl was not only speaking English, but Spanish. She had a knack for it. These little kids, man, they're just like little sponges. And if you can help these little ones learn these languages, they will blow your mind. She blew my mind. I mean, perfect English and Spanish. And her mom was like, I know. And it was just amazing what these little kids can do when they're exposed to it. And us too, if we will just get out of your, your comfort zone and go and take a language class and, see what you can do. So what is the schedule of the language? Because Lee Marie she's like, you go to Mexico, you need to learn Spanish. And so what is the schedule on the Spanish classes?
They will give you a schedule of the classes when you show up. You show up usually in August and in January for the semester. And when you do, then they will test you, and they will tell you that your classes are going to be up on Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
Now, I have been in classes where it ran a little over if you get involved in a conversation or something with the teacher.
Right.
Or if you get started and there's some things that need to be done, you can also get finished early. It's usually between 6 and 7:30.
Well, that's not bad. And
No.
and so that's doable for a lot of folks. And so are typically the language classes in the evening, or do they have some during the day?
No, they do not have any during the day because
Okay.
most of their instructors work in the school systems
Ah, okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
The lady that I worked with at Crestview last year was my teacher.
Okay.
One,
Sorry, I've got a little bit of allergy tickle going here in my throat. I'm going to let you keep talking. So, how many different classes do you have right now? You have 3 levels, right?
3 levels, so there's only one time class. It's once a week at 6 o'clock, and they meet in different areas of the library. There usually is one in the boardroom, one in the community room, one in children's department, just places where they can close off and listen to things.
So, are they all on Tuesday then?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay, very
all
good.
on Tuesday.
Okay, so no matter what level you're at, they're on Tuesday.
They're on Tuesday.
What else can you tell us about on the calendar?
If you go online, if you want to know what the library offers, go online to our website. It's called StokesBrownPublicLibrary.com, and you can go on. It will bring you up to a website called UC More. The word U, YOUCSEE, More, MORE. And it'll bring you up. It'll give you everything at the top at the top of the screen you can look. And there's a calendar, there's the books that we offer. Everything's there, and they have drop-down things. But there is a calendar. And if you get the calendar, you can either see it as you saw it on the screen a while ago. those of you who can see, it's in a calendar format. Or there is a scrolling calendar there as well that will give you what's coming up for the month. It usually takes us a little bit of time to update some stuff sometimes. We do have the February calendar up, and it's color coded. So you see the color codes are going to be, if you see something in purple, it's relating to children. Orange is young adults, which is our kids in middle school from 6th to 12th grades. We also have a section in the library that's devoted solely to children up to 12, and then another one that's young adults 6th grade to 12th grade. If you're out of the 12th grade, don't try to go in that room. They won't let you.
Okay.
If you try to go into the children's department and you do not have a child with you, we ask you not to go in that area unless you're going in specifically for a certain book.
Right.
And then if you will go in and just ask a librarian to help you, they're more than happy to get you anything you want.
Okay.
That's a safety feature that we have now.
That's good. I think it's wonderful that y'all recognize that you need to have that safety feature.
We do.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're on the calendar and you're looking at it, we have computer classes. We have homeschool time for those students who do not have, they're doing homeschool, but they don't have an umbrella school. And if an umbrella school is only one that will keep the records and stuff for you as a homeschool student that you have to pay for.
Right.
Our homeschool classes are on Thursdays. We don't charge you anything. You come in, you do a lesson with one of our librarians. Sometimes I'm in there with computers. I have taught some of the computer things. We have all the different things in the computer classes. We have all the different Microsoft Office applications, a class on each one. We have a class on the hardware in the computer and what's involved in hardware. We also have a class on software.
Well, y'all have had Excel classes too.
Yes, Excel is part of the Microsoft Office
And
package.
I'm telling you, that is something that if you're in business and you don't understand, I mean, we have to deal with Excel for spreadsheets and things like that. And it's a bit of my nemesis but if you understand it, it goes very easily. And
It
it's just
does.
not, one of my kids is just a master at it. And it has absolutely helped him in his job. There's no doubt about it. It has helped advance him because he is so good at it. But, I can't say enough about really knowing computer skills. And that's something that they're bringing into the schools. There's like a state mandate now to have computer science, I think, across the board. Have you heard this?
They do have to have
Yeah.
it. In fact, even the elementary schools now have a full, they call it a related arts class.
Right.
And it's part of their rotation that they have to go to these classes every week.
And it is something that is a big initiative. And because the kids have got to have it. When they get up into high school and they're still struggling with computers, oh my goodness. I mean, everything is computer based. I'm stunned at the ones that are in higher classes that I still have to walk through. This is, go to your Finder, go to the different things. And this is how you navigate. And, and I'm constantly learning stuff. I had a student teach me something yesterday about OneDrive and, different things like that. And these are all things that you just really need to know. So they're wonderful classes. And I love that y'all work so much with homeschool. There's a lot of homeschool kids that come in there, I'm sure. Let's take a pause for a second. What are the hours of the library? When are y'all open?
We are open Monday through Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday we open from 2:30 to 2 to 5:30, or 2:30 to 5. And I don't have that in front of me. I'm sorry. Then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we're open from 9 to 5. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we're open from 9 to 8.
Okay.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, or usually on Thursdays, we have a movie time. And it's a free popcorn and free little water cups and stuff. And anybody can come to the movies and sometimes the children watch and sometimes they don't. But
Yeah.
the parents will, have a movie time for the whole family,
Uh-huh.
and the whole family can come at free of charge.
How can you find out what you're showing? What the feature is?
Normally, it's posted online on the
Okay.
calendars.
Okay.
There are some times that we are waiting. We put an order in for a certain a newly released movie. It usually is a newly released movie,
Okay.
and we're waiting for it to come in. So if it doesn't come in right away, then sometimes we have to kind of hold our breath and maybe bring something else in. But
Right.
most of the time, it's a newly released movie.
Okay.
I see on the calendar for February, we do not have anything listed because we don't know what's going to come out that week.
Right.
So
So you just know there's a feature coming out and there's a movie
right.
opportunity.
Excuse me.
So now you said you were are you closed on Saturdays?
No,
No,
we
no,
are
no.
not.
So are you
Saturday
open
is
7
9 to 5,
Okay, so are you open 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Okay. I misunderstood that because the way you said that, I was like, okay, is there, for some reason I was thinking that you were closed one day. But so go through those hours again. I got that upside down in my head. Maybe others did too.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays are 9 to 5.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are 9 to 8.
Right. That's when Tuesday or Thursday is usually when I get to pop in because I can do the later hours or on Sunday afternoon.
Well, now I'm going to mention something else since you said you were also teaching. Do you know teachers have a special card at the library that you don't have to bring your articles that you check out back for 3 weeks?
Oh, really?
It is a special teacher's cards, and if by chance a student gets one of your books and they don't get it back quite on time, teachers are not charged overdue fines.
Okay. Okay. I did not know that.
Basically, most of our teachers, and by being a Robertson County teacher, you are our books can be sent to you through the school mail. We have a man that picks them up and brings them to your school for you.
Oh, wow.
And all you have to do is get it back to the office, and he will pick it up and bring it back to us.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I got to get in there and get my library card updated and get all this stuff done. But that was a question I had, and it slipped my mind. We were talking about Libby, and if you're just joining us and you're like, what's Libby? It is the Audible book and the checkout. Now, I mean, it's not just Audible books. It's also if you want to read them like Kindle, right? Or is it only Audible?
No, it's both.
It's both. You can have Audible or you can have like a Kindle version. So how long do you get those books? Because you check them out.
You get them for 2 weeks.
So it's just like if you came into the library and checked them out. So if you get a book you're going to listen to, you've got 2 weeks to listen to it. Or can you renew it like you do a book, or do you have to turn it back in and then renew it?
If there's no one waiting for it, then you can keep it and renew it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's someone waiting for it, and I just had this happen,
Right.
I had to turn it in before I got it finished.
Okay.
But I put it on hold again, and the minute that the person turned it in,
You got it back.
Yeah, I got it right back.
Okay. And sometimes that happens because I've had that happen whenever there's been a new release by one of my favorite authors, and I'll get my hands on it,
Right.
and the same thing, and I just don't quite get through it, and I have to turn it back in, get it back, and things like that. But I mean, we need to be using our libraries more. So many things that we can touch in. I need to go ahead and do a break, but we haven't talked really just about the full schedule that we have coming up for the month ahead, how to get hotspots, the services of the library. I mean, you guys have a notary, right? Do you also have a notary? I think we had it when we did our last will, we came up and had it notarized there. It was just convenient. There's so many different services that you don't think about for the library. I mean, we've had meetings in some of the meeting rooms. I've been there for different things like that. Just all kinds of things that we just don't think about are available to us through our library. And it's just a wonderful place. And we have a beautiful one, and we just can't say enough about getting out there and checking it out. Let's pause and take a break. Talk about one of our sponsors, Mr. Perry's Music. Mr. Perry's is the place for rock and roll. You want to be in a band? Your kids want to be in a band? Of course they do. If they're playing music, I've played music my whole life, and I'm not very good at it. And the reason why is I've never had anybody to play with. And when you don't have somebody to collaborate with, you just kind of go, okay, why am I playing? And, you sit down in a party and it's like, hey, y'all want to hear me play guitar? And no. But if you're in a band and you can, collaborate with somebody, it's a whole different story. And I cannot say enough about it. If you want your kids to be involved in music, they really need to have somebody to play with. I can't say enough about it, whether it's, piano, guitar, a mandolin. Those are the three that I dabble in, drums. And you don't really know. A kid may think, oh, I want to play drums or I want to play guitar. And then they get in and they get their hands on the other instruments and they're like, I like this one. And that is what Mr. Perry will expose them to. If you want to get your kid involved in the rock band classes, you need to reach out to him. It's MrPerry'sSpringfield.com, MrPerry'sSpringfield.com. They work on the semester, so they're already into their semester, but he might be able to plug you in somewhere. They were putting together a homeschool rock band. Just go online and register. You can always get your student in for some private lessons to get them started and get them acclimated to that. And then they'll have a summer camp coming up. So just all kinds of fun stuff happening. I love driving by the house and seeing it just rocking on Monday night. But it is a fun place. If you've not met Perry Myers, you need to go by and meet him. They have equipment for sale, just all kinds of wonderful things going on at Mr. Perry's Springfield. It is a place for rock and other genres of music too, whatever you're into. But your kids are going to love it. If you really want to get your kid with an instrument and let them, really have the full opportunity to see what they can do, Mr. Perry's Music is the place. Go again to MrPerry'sSpringfield.com, MrPerry'sSpringfield.com, and always let our sponsors know that U-Turn sent you guys. And as we continue on, I'm talking with Debbie Liner. She is with the library. And, we were talking about the Spanish lessons that you need to take. I mean, one of the coolest things is that being able to talk about how that we talk about collaborating with music. If you're trying to learn a language, you need to have somebody to talk to in Spanish. And so I'm sure you were talking about that in your Spanish classes, sometimes they might go a little bit longer because you're having a conversation with Spanish speakers. That's why you really learn it. It's more of an immersion type thing. So, it's just all kinds of things that we expose ourselves to and can expose ourselves to. We'll just get outside your comfort zone and do it. And winter's a good time too to visit the library. Maybe, because you're in the house and you looking for something to do. Man, go to the library. Get a good book.
Yeah, we've got some quiet rooms that you can sit in. Since you mentioned the French, the Spanish, we also have a French class.
I did not
for
know
young
that.
adults.
Oh.
Yes, and that is on Wednesday afternoons at 3:30 in the young adult area, and that's for students 6th grade through 12th grade.
Oh, I love that. I took French whenever I was in college and can't speak it either. You got to practice this stuff. It's the same thing. We're talking about the instruments. You cannot maintain these things if you don't practice it. And it may be that you speak a little bit of these languages and you just need to come in and take a class. And how expensive are they? You say that they do have a charge with them. How much does it cost?
The Spanish classes, all they charge is just for the books that they supply to you. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
There's
it's
no
not-
charge for the teachers. There's no charge. And the teachers bring you all kinds of little goodies here and there. And usually the last classes in the semester, we would go to a Mexican restaurant and we had to order our meals in Spanish.
Oh,
And
that's
we
good
had
deal.
we had to respond to the waiters and waitresses and servers and everybody there in Spanish, and they just would get tickled at us.
Well, I'm sure they do. The pronunciations and stuff, when I'm down in Mexico, I'll try to speak a little bit, and they giggle at us, but we're trying. So we're talking about. So we got classes. Is there any other classes? So you got some language classes. We know we've got computer classes. Anything to do with Microsoft? Do you dabble with Mac? Do you do any Mac classes?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have any classes on it, but
Okay.
Mac is if you have Microsoft Office, it is the same on Mac as it is in a PC.
Yes.
A Mac is just different in that most of the time your Macs do not get viruses. A PC will pick up a virus.
Yep.
Macs are much more expensive. They're much more secure.
Yes. And they're also if you're in anything to do in entertainment, audio and video production, standard across the board. I mean, any place that I have worked as far as radio and television, they were all Mac. They were all Mac. And the reason why is because they are just simply they're just their audio and video programs just, I don't know, work better. Of course, you got Adobe, which is Mac, and that's what a lot of people use. Now, I'll tell you, and a lot of people are just discovering this, but there is a program that we're using in audio and video at Greenbrier, and it is called DaVinci Resolve. And it's something that I was made aware of at a conference I went to in the fall. And it is one that is applicable to any platform. You can use it on PC, you can use it on Mac. And so one of the reasons why we're jumping over and trying to help the kids with DaVinci Resolve is because while Adobe can be very expensive, DaVinci, there's a free version of it. Now they'll try to upsell you, as all they will, but DaVinci Resolve has a free version that you can do amazing things with. And so these kids can take it with them so you can put it on other applications. But I'm a Mac person. And that's why one of my students yesterday had to come and help me with something with the OneDrive, because it's all PC driven, just a regular, what they were doing. It was on a different, the application was different that I wasn't accustomed to. And so he was helping me back out. But it's once you've done it a couple of times, you're like, okay, I got this. And, but nonetheless, you gotta stay on top of this stuff because it's constantly changing. But there's
also free versions or free platforms that you can use other than Microsoft Office that will, it's called Google and Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Presentations. And if you choose to use the free version on Google, you can save it and download it to a PC or to a Mac in whatever form that you have available on your machine.
Right. And see, that's some of the educational things I've had to do as a teacher are facilitated through Google Classroom. We do not do Google in Robertson County. We are Microsoft. And so, but some of the things I've had to go and do conference-wise, we had to log into a Google Classroom. So there are a lot of free applications out there. You do not have to spend a bunch of money on this stuff to really make things work for you. And just to have, in what somebody shows you how to do this, it is just not that hard. And there's a lot of people in my generation. My mother, she has passed, but she was 84 years old when she passed, and the things that we could teach her, and once she saw it, she was like, oh, I can do this, and I enjoyed it. And it just takes, again, stepping out of that comfort zone and getting in there and saying, hey, what can I do? And the library is a beautiful place to facilitate that. So what are some of the other things that we're missing that we haven't? We talked about the computer classes that you offer, the Spanish classes you offer. Of course, you've got things for homeschoolers. Is there something else that you're like, oh, yeah, but we do this and we haven't mentioned? Something
There's a couple of things right off the bat. If you go into our children's area and your children's teacher says your child is on this reading level and she needs to read some more, all of our books, fiction or nonfiction, even our Spanish books, are all labeled with the reading levels.
Oh, okay.
That goes along with accelerated readers. Or those teachers that are out there who know what we're talking about. It's through Renaissance. And they're leveled according to the level that accelerated reader levels them. So that if the teachers are giving STAR tests at the beginning of the year and the student is at a 2.3 level, we have all of the second grade levels in a red sticker, and it says 2 on it.
Okay.
So also, if the homeschoolers are out there and your child is in first grade and you want them to be pushing a little bit, all you've got to do is go out and look at the first grade levels, and on the inside of the cover, it will have the exact level. Like a 1.9 would mean that's the first grade, the ninth month level.
Okay. So, do you have anything to do with the book bus?
Right now, we do not have a book bus.
Well, but the school does. The school has got
no. I didn't know about the school
Yeah.
bus. No.
Yeah. It's they have it over at the facilitated out of the teacher center.
Oh,
Yes, you need to go over there and check that out.
I need to go over there. I do.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they've got a book bus now that they have worked on, and it's wonderful. It is just, it's one of those things where kids can, you get to keep the books that are, and I think you can check them out, but you can also keep them. But that is something that is brand new, just really in the last couple of months.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And they have built out a bus and they've wrapped it. And yeah, you need to go see that. You need to pay a visit to the teacher center. I drive by it all the time, so it's real convenient for me. But and it just comes to mind because they're making some posters for me this morning. But it's just, we have so many wonderful things in Roberts County that you don't know about if you're not a teacher. It's just awesome. But we're talking with Debbie Liner, and she is with the Stokes Brown Public Library, and she is a retired teacher, 8 years now at the library. Do you still pop in and do some substitute teaching or anything, or are you just all library now?
Just all library now.
Yeah. Well, you got to kind of focus. What are you full time then, or are you a part time?
No,
person?
I'm a retired teacher through the state. So I just have a certain amount of hours that I can work, and I love to work the library because there's so many programs out there. I can't even begin to start with all the
Name them
programs.
all.
We have a story time for every age of kids up through 5th grade.
And what does that look like? So, when do they meet?
Most of our story times are on Tuesdays and Tuesday, Wednesdays mornings, and then let me start all over there because it's broken down. Mondays we have on Monday mornings we have something called music and movement.
Okay.
If you have ever seen 30 to 35 children,
You're fine.
if on Sunday or Monday mornings, if you ever seen like 30 to 35 little ones under school age, get out on mats and dance to music.
Oh.
And we've got moms in there with babies, and the babies are all over the place.
And when does this happen? Because
This is at 10:30 on Monday mornings.
Oh my goodness, I love that idea.
They are, and they go full force for 45 minutes.
I love it. And then nap time.
Mama's
nap time.
Mama's take them back, and they go to naps.
That's wonderful.
Then on Tuesdays and Wednesday mornings, we have story time at 10:30. All the children's activities begin at 10:30, Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Friday. There's on Tuesdays, there's a story time. The kids go in, there's a story read to them. They do activities and crafts. They have a snack with them. On Thursday mornings, we have homeschool at 10:30. And on Friday mornings, we have a lap sit, which is for the little babies.
Itty bitties.
The little bitties, yes.
I love it. So I was looking on your calendar. I see all these frogs. What's with the frog?
Well, the frogs are we just love them.
Yeah, I'm a fan too, but I thought maybe there was something significant because I mean, and two, you will each month. I guess February is kind of presidential.
The frogs on February means it's a leap year.
Oh, are we in a leap year?
We are in a leap year.
Oh, okay. But I just didn't even think about that. So that makes sense. I hadn't even thought about that. But as you're looking at these, kind of just wonderful stuff, just absolute wonderful stuff that you can learn and expose your children to, and you as well. There is something we have not covered, and we need to cover this, but I'm going to go ahead and cover my next break, and then we'll come back and talk about how that you can check out stuff that will also get you tickets. High dollar tickets to things in Nashville. And that's something I've talked about with different ones before. I think Rose came in and talked about that. But oh my goodness, there are some really amazing deals where you can just check these activities out, and it comes with tickets to really expensive places that
Comes
to
with
take.
family passes.
Yes, it's crazy. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But let's pause and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, my friends in real estate. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a property, or are you looking to sell property? You just got questions about the real estate. Are you thinking about becoming a realtor? Barry and Rebecca are really good ones to talk to if that is the case, because they both came out of other careers. They went into real estate after going into, well, Barry was a marketer, a media marketer for 17 years up in Nashville. Rebecca was she was in radiology of all things. But they both came out of different careers, and they decided that realty was a great path for them. And Rebecca talks about when she first got into it, that she was really looking for something that just had a lot of diversity and a lot of benefits and things like that. And that's why she ended up with Exit Realty. And she's been there, I think, about 18 years now. She is she's one of the agents up in White House. You can call her at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Barry is the broker here in Springfield. He went full-time with real estate about 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. But he has all that marketing expertise, though, that he brings to the table. As a broker here in Springfield, has an office there on the downtown square. And he can help you make sure that people are seeing your property in the best light. If maybe your pictures aren't great, do you need some video? Maybe a walkthrough tour. He came in and taught my kids how to do walkthrough tours last year, and taught us about drones, brought in an indoor drone. It's the coolest stuff ever. You can get drone footage. He can bring all of that to you in the real estate community, and it's so valuable. If you need something like that, if you need to talk to a really great couple that are wonderful with what they do, Exit Realty is the place. Again, reach out to them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. They do specialize in Robertson County properties because they're cross-Planians for about 28 years now. So they're one of us, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. They're the whole package. Great friends of this program. When you reach out to Barry and Rebecca Richards, please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Debbie Liner's in the house. She is the technology trainer at Stokes Brown Public Library, a beautiful library, and just been I love it. I go in there don't go in there as much as I need to. You know, one thing I do have, when y'all were getting rid of some books, they had an old set of encyclopedias they were giving away back when they were going from the old library to the new one. And I got them because I just love books. And I do not have room for them in my house, and they're now in my classroom. And my kids are like, what are these? And when they're in trouble, I'm like, I tell you what, since you can't seem to sit still and do what I ask you to do, why don't you go grab one of the encyclopedias, look this up, and write me a paper the way I had to, And so I will do that. So I have some old cameras and things like that. And I've got that old set of encyclopedias. And that is something that I make them kind of go retro on their research when they get to little knuckleheads. It's nice. But I told you we're going to talk about the things that you can check out, the activities that you can check out. What is that all about?
We have what we call backpacks. Mm-hmm. They're the clear backpacks, and there are all kinds of them that are they're educational. In each backpack, there are usually we've got one that's puppets, and it's got some animal puppets in it. We've got some that are, we've got a butterfly, we've got rabbits, we've got all kinds of toy things, and then we've got family packs. Mm-hmm. And the backpacks come with, there's several of them that come with tickets or a family pass for a certain amount of days. If you go and check out, let's say for the Frist Museum, you can go in and pick up the backpack, and it's got information about the museum. Mm-hmm. It's got where it is. It's got all kinds of things. There are all kinds of information in there. But there's also tickets for a family of, I don't, excuse me, but I don't know how many per family can go in. But we've got a family pass that you can go take your children in and look through the Frist Museum. Mm-hmm.
Do I have to have kids with me to use the family pass?
No,
So
no, you can check it out.
My husband and I, we could just come and get one. And
Exactly. Yep.
I love it because there's also one where you can go to the car museum. What is that car place? I can't remember what it's called, but there's one for cars. And
We've got so many new ones. I don't remember
and
what all there is.
Our friend actually works there, and my husband, if he's still listening, will put the name up. But it is a car collection, and it's up in Nashville, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it is the coolest place. I mean, it is. If you're into cars, it is fascinating, and it is a pricey ticket to go in and see this. But I know there's that. I'm thinking there's one for the Hall of Fame. Isn't there?
Yeah, we've just put out, and just in the last little bit,
Right.
we put out probably 5 or 6 new ones, and I'm not aware of what they all are.
Where can I go? So if I want to pop into if I want to come into the library and just look through your backpacks, because maybe I'm like, man, it's winter and I want to go do something. Where would I go and just kind of look through and see what you had?
When you come in the front door, look to the left. There's a large room full of stacks of books.
Okay.
Close to where you would see the elevator, there is a rack with clear backpacks. And all those backpacks are there for adults.
Okay.
There are backpacks available for the young adults, and that is upstairs behind the reference desk.
Okay.
There are numerous backpacks in the children's department. In the children's department, when you come in the doors, the front double doors, you're just going to go straight through the and past the checkout desks.
Right.
And I'm gonna plug here real quick. We also have a self checkout at the reference
really?
at the front desk. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. Is that new?
That's new.
Okay.
You're just going to go straight on through there. You're going to pass through another little lobby, and then you'll see the children's department, and just ask one of the ladies back there, and they will show you all of the children's backpacks. There's probably 15 or so.
Okay. But I could come and check, just like, okay, we're having family day this weekend. And if the weather were rough and I was like, oh, we're going to be inside, could I come and check one out for my grandkids?
You certainly could. We had things like there's one on rainforests that teaches them about rainforest.
Okay.
There's and inside each one there's games, there's worksheets, there's color sheets, there's everything you need to teach your children or grandchildren or whatever you have about that one subject. We've got
Love it.
one on bees. There's just
I need to learn about bees. I want to keep bees so bad. And you're talking about Barry and Rebecca Richards. If you've got bee questions, he's your guy. He kept bees for years and years and years. But and see, this is fascinating. And so, but now the ones for the events where you can go to places, those would be in the adult section, right? Would those be the backpacks that you check out for adults, or are those the kiddos?
I think those are all adults because we have to keep a list. We have to keep a count on what's in there.
And here's the thing, too, guys. Just go into the library and wander around. If you don't have a kiddo, don't just go into the kids department. That would be the only place they couldn't just go in and without saying, hey, I want to see what you've got for kids and that kind of thing. You just need to communicate. If you're going into the library to look around, before you go into the kids area, let them know, say, I'm a grandparent. I got 4 grandkids. So I want to come in and kind of see what's available for my grandkids. So when I need something, I can do it. But you need to communicate that if you're going to be going into the kids department. But otherwise, it's pretty much free reign to go and wander around and see what's going on.
It is.
Okay, now talk to me. I'm trying to think of the things we haven't mentioned. And Lee Marie, if you're watching and you know of something we've missed, the hot spots.
Hot spots.
That's a big thing. I don't know. I know Lee Marie, and that's how they were doing internet for a long time. And they would just check one out, turn one in, check one out, and that kind of thing. If you're somebody that's just like, I'm just not online enough, I really don't want to pay the money to get online, hotspots are available. With me, I've got to have it. I'm a Cumberland Connect person. I got a gig. But for some people, they don't need it very often.
Right.
And so they just want something. So if they do need to get online, they can. How does that work with the hotspots? Check it out.
You have to put those on hold.
Okay.
Those will require a library card.
Okay.
And you can go online yourself and put it on hold.
Oh, you can do it online. You don't even have to
online.
go
No,
in.
you do not have to come inside, or you can call the library and we will put it on hold for you.
How long does it usually take if you want to get a hotspot?
They're checked out, I believe, by the week. It may
Okay.
be 2 weeks
Okay.
because I don't use them.
Well, and also too, can you? Because that was just, and again, I've just heard Lee Marie talk about them. Can't, like, if I had one, can I put one on hold while I have one, or do you know how it works? I mean, it's
Yes.
it's a pretty neat little program if you're just not somebody that just uses the internet a lot. And because they're limitless little hotspots, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They hook up to, I believe it's T-Mobile.
Okay.
I have used them when we went on vacation.
Okay.
Because in some of the places that we've gone on vacation, the kids have used them in the cars. So they've got their own little devices hooked up to the hotspot in the
That's
car.
a great idea. I hadn't even thought about
And
that.
we do a 9-hour trip and never hear a peep.
Oh, how funny! Because they're getting some things done, getting some classwork done. I'm sure, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, of course. They're not gaming, doing any of that. Oh, and Lane Motors Museum. Lane Motors Museum is the place I was trying to think about. That's the cool car place. That there is. I know there's a backpack to go to Lane Motors Museum, and one she's saying yes for the Country Music Hall of Fame. Those are expensive tickets, guys.
Yes,
and
they
you get a
are.
family pass. I wonder if we have anything for the Nashville Zoo. Ooh, we need something for the zoo.
I don't know, but that would
I'm
be
gonna go-
something I
I'm
could
gonna
go back
look.
and ask.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about places I'd want to go for free. The zoo would be one. And I've gone to the zoo many times, but I'm trying to think. There's so many places in Nashville that we don't go, and they're tourist attractions, and we need to. And we're all terrible about not visiting the places in our hometown. I've been that notoriously everywhere I've ever lived, that I don't think about. Oh, I should have gone there while I was here. And what like Cheekwood? I wonder if there's something for Cheekwood.
I think
Ooh.
there is something.
I kind of think I remember something, and that's a really pricey ticket. It's so much fun. I mean, there's so many cool things. What are we missing, Debbie? We're out of time.
The only thing I want to plug is our bingo.
Oh, fun. What's that
We have
about?
bingo once a month. It's usually on the second Monday at 1:00. That's for adults. But then there's sometimes, check your calendars online. It comes up for kids as well.
Oh, for bingo.
Uh-huh.
Y'all have prizes?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
We have lots of nice prizes.
Fun. So when is bingo again? I love bingo. I don't go and play it enough. We do it with teachers every now and then, and I love bingo. But so when is it again?
Usually on the second Monday of each month. It's
Second
at
Monday.
1:00.
Okay, second Monday of each month at 1:00. But that's one. Oh, now Lee Marie's clarifying something on the hotspots. If you have a hotspot in your household, you cannot put one on hold. You have to turn it in, and then you can put one on hold. Okay. So there you go. She uses them, so I knew she would know. But, well, that's fun, the bingo. Now, we did, whenever the snow happened, y'all did have to close. So if icy conditions, things, common sense kind of things, you just will post that on the door.
There is posted online.
Okay.
So you can go check the website, and it'll tell you if we're closed and why we're closed.
Because of snow or something
Right.
like that. How long were you closed when the snow came through? Were you closed like the whole week like everybody else? Or
No. No, we were open on that Wednesday and Thursday until about 2:00 on Thursday, and then it got bad. And then we closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and opened back up on Monday.
Okay. And just common sense, guys. Our library is a wonderful place. If you have not yet visited, you don't know what you're missing. All the things. I mean, we could sit here and talk for another hour about the different programs at the library, from computer training, language, all kinds of story time, activities, these backpacks that you can get to go to events in Nashville, just cool stuff. If you've not got a notary, everything you need right there at your fingertips and free. You can't beat it. Right. When's the last time you updated your library card? I got to go do mine. And I can't say enough about Libby. That is something, if you're an Audible customer, if you're spending all that money, go check out Libby. It'll blow your mind, guys. Thank you so much, Debbie, for coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.